Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Friends, welcome back to biology online classes. The CET NEET chapter what we are discussing is about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So in the previous class we have seen up to questions 12. Let me continue with the same worksheet. Question number 13. From among the situations given below, choose the one that prevents both autogamy and geitonogamy. So I will continue with the same worksheet. So the same class. So after question number 12, we start with the question number 13. From among the situations given below, choose the one that prevents both autogamy and geitonogamy. Autogamy happens in bisexual flowers. So there is no confusion. Geitonogamy happens in a unisexual plant, means both the flowers are present, both the male and female flowers are present at different positions in the same plant. In that case, geitonogamy happens. Okay, that means if the plant is monoecious, then geitonogamy can happen. Okay, but if the flowers are unisexual and the plant is monoecious, then geitonogamy can happen. But if the flowers are bisexual as well as the plant is a bisexual, monoecious, okay, then autogamy, self-pollination definitely will occur. Here the question, very important question for the NEET CET. Among the situation given below, choose the one that prevents both autogamy and geitonogamy. ಎರಡನ್ನು prevent ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. A. Monoecious plant bearing unisexual flowers. If monoecious plants bear unisexual flowers, then geitonogamy chances are there. Option A cannot be the one. See the B. Dioecious plant bearing only male or female flowers. If only male flower is there or only female flower is there and the plant is dioecious, sexes are separate, okay, then there is always chance of cross pollination, that is xenogamy. Xenogamy type of cross pollination is possible. So that could be a right option. Let's see option C. Monoecious plant with the bisexual flowers. Plant is monoecious but flowers are bisexual. Correct? No. Okay. Both the sexes are present in the same plant. Flower is also bisexual. Then there is always autogamy. See the option D. Dioecious plant with bisexual flowers. Dioecious plant with bisexual flowers. Okay. That means dioecious plant with bisexual flowers. How it is possible? It is not possible. Monoecious plant bisexual flowers you can see, but dioecious plant means sexes are separate. Male flower or female flower only should be present in dioecious plant. So that is also not the correct answer. So as we guessed, the right option is the option B. Dioecious plant bearing only male or female flowers. Very important question, mark it as. Let's move to next question, question number 14. In a fertilized embryo sac is nothing but the female gametophyte. The haploid, diploid and triploid structures are A. Synergid, yes, it is haploid. Zygote is diploid. Primary endosperm nucleus is triploid. So this primary endosperm nucleus later forms the endosperm which gives nourishment to the developing embryo. Zygote only will develops into embryo. Then the synergid later disappears. Correct? So the right option is option A. See the option B. Synergid is it is haploid. Antipodal it is also haploid. Polar nuclei two are there. Both are haploid. So that is not the right one. See the option C. Antipodal it is haploid. Synergid is also haploid. Primary endosperm nucleus it is a triploid. That's option. See the option D. Synergid is haploid. Polar nuclei they are haploid. Zygote is a diploid. So that is not the right option. Let's move to question number 15. In an embryo sac, once again it is a female gametophyte, the cells that degenerate after the fertilization, cells that degenerate ಆಗ್ತದೆ fertilization ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದು? It is antipodals, synergids as well as antipodals. That is the option B is the right option. Okay. So primary endosperm nucleus provides that is food for the growing embryo while the egg develops into the embryo. Let's move to question number 16. While planning for an artificial hybridization program involving dioecious plants, which of the following steps would not be relevant? If you have planned for artificial hybridization, okay, involving dioecious plant and the sexes are separate, which of the following steps would not be relevant? So artificial hybridization takes place in the three important steps. One is what? First is emasculation, then bagging, rebagging, bagging, tagging, and then rebagging, isn't it? But dioecious plant ಆದದ್ರಿಂದ male ಮತ್ತು female sex organs are not present in the same plant. So there is no need of removing the anthers. That means there is not necessary of emasculation. So option C is the right one. Bagging of flower, female flower, dusting of pollen on stigma, collection of pollen, all are important steps. But C, emasculation is not needed. Let's move to question number 17. In the embryos of a typical dicot and a grass is a monocot. True homologous structures are homologous structures. They may be different in their origin, but same in their function, homologous structures. ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ? Coleoryza and coleoptile, coleoptile and scutellum, cotyledons and scutellum, hypocotyle and radical. Cotyledons, true homologous organs. Homo means same. ಏನು ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಿಮಿಲಾರಿಟಿ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ Coleoryza, it is the covering for radical. Coleoptile, it's for shoot. Shoot tip is covered by coleoptile, isn't it? Plumule. Then scutellum is a shield shaped cotyledon which is seen in case of monocots. Cotyledon and scutellum, cotyledons and scutellum both are same. Scutellum is nothing but the shield shaped cotyledon. So that is the right option, option C. Hypocotyle and radical are two different words. You have heard about hypocotyle and epicotyle, correct? See, suppose if this is a plant, okay, if there are say two cotyledons, I am giving the example of a dicot plant, and here there is a region, okay, and from this region say the roots are arising, okay, this particular region and one more particular this region. See, from this region branches which bearing the leaves, it starts to arise, correct? So this region which is found above the cotyledon, above the region of cotyledon, okay, but below the region from where the first leaf arises, okay, this particular region, okay, that is called as, yes, this is called as the epicotyle. Epi means above, cotyle for cotyledon. The region which is present above the cotyledon, that is called as the epicotyle. Now here you can see one region is there. This is a cotyledon and this is what? This is a root. Sariya? Okay. ಈ ಕಾಟಿಲಿಡಾನ್ ಮತ್ತು ರೂಟ್ ಇದರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಹೈಪೋ. ಹೈಪೋ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿಲೋ ದ ಕಾಟಿಲಿಡಾನ್, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ hypocotyle. So that is the meaning of epicotyle and hypocotyle. This also a very important concept you have to remember, my dear students. Okay, that is the. So, the right answer is option C, cotyledons and scutellum. Let's move to question number 18. The phenomena observed in some plants wherein parts of the sexual apparatus is used for forming the embryos without the fertilization is called. Very important question. A phenomena observed in some plants wherein parts of the sexual apparatus, sex organ, is used for forming embryos without fertilization, means embryos are formed but without the fertilization. What is that? It is called as apomixis. Option B, that is apomixis. Very, very, very important part this is. Apomixis. Okay. Why not parthenocarpy? Parthenocarpy means seedless fruits. Fruits which are produced without the fertilization, that is called as parthenocarpy. But here embryos are formed without the fertilization, so it is apomixis. It is not vegetative propagation or neither sexual reproduction. Now you have already studied about the phenomena of apomixis, right? You have studied the phenomena of apomixis in your theory class. So let's study some details in our NEET class about the apomixis. Seeds without fertilization. Some plants are known to produce the seeds without the fertilization. Those seeds are called as apomictic seeds. They are called as apomictic seeds, and the phenomena it is called as the apomixis. Correct? So, there are different types of apomixis. Okay? So, there are 4 types of apomixis. So, note down these important points for the exam point of view. How many types of apomixis? There are mainly 4 types of apomixis. Which are those? Let's study one by one. Okay? The first one, or apomixis can also be defined as the process of development of diploid embryos without fertilization. The process of formation of diploid embryos without fertilization that is also called as apomixis. Note down this, very important. So, it is a form of asexual reproduction that occurs via seeds. Okay? It is a mode of asexual reproduction that occurs via seeds. Embryos develop without fertilization. So, it is a mode of asexual reproduction. Actually, it mimics the sexual mode of reproduction. So, what are the 4 different types? So, you take down one after other. First one is the recurrent apomixis. Recurrent apomixis. Second one is non-recurrent apomixis. Non-recurrent apomixis. Third one is adventive embryony. It's already explained. Adventive embryony. Adventive embryony or nucellar embryony, or also called as nucellar embryony. And the fourth one being vegetative apomixis. Vegetative apomixis or bulbils. Recurrent, non-recurrent, adventive or nucellar, then vegetative apomixis or bulbils. Note down. Now, what is recurrent apomixis means? So, here the embryo which develops from the diploid egg mother cell. The embryo develops from the diploid egg mother cell. So, the egg mother cell is diploid. There must be, so the embryo also diploid. Egg mother cell is diploid. So, the embryo also must be diploid. Or from some other diploid cells of the embryo sac, or other cells, or any other cells of embryo sac. So, without fertilization. So, here the embryo develops, of course, without fertilization, either from the diploid egg mother cell. So, suppose there is an embryo sac here. Surrounding there is a layer that is made up of nutritive tissue, and it is referred to as nucellus. A nucellus and surrounding one of the cells of the nucellus ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವು ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. Correct? So, if you study the structure of a particular embryo sac, which already you have studied in the theory, okay, it is 7-celled and 8-nucleated stage. Correct? So, what are the different layers which are found surrounding the nucellus? Megasporangium structure, you see. Okay, nucellus, cells of the nucellus have abundant reserve food material. Okay, so within the nucellus, inside the nucellus, that is embryo sac or female hematophyte is present. Okay, so megaspore mother cell is that is MMC. So here what happens in case of recurrent apomixis? It is developed from the diploid egg mother cell, that is megaspore mother cell. One of the cell of the nucellus, it acts like MMC. This also I explained, megaspore mother cell, just revision. It acts like MMC, one of the nucellus. For example, this is the nucellus layer, and it will directly develop into what? An embryo. So, the ploidy of MMC is diploid. So, the embryo will also diploid. Athava, this MMC, okay, megaspore mother cell, it will divide and it forms without undergoing meiosis. It will not undergo meiosis, and it directly forms the embryo sac. Okay, and whatever the cells which are present inside it's diploid, because MMC has not undergone any meiosis. So, other cells of the embryo sac are all diploid. So, in case of recurrent apomixis, the diploid egg mother cell MMC directly develops into diploid embryo, or other cells which are present within the embryo sac which are diploid may develop into embryo but without fertilization. That is called as the recurrent apomixis. That is called as the recurrent apomixis. So you can see in case of Allium, Parthenium, Malus, examples, Allium, Allium cepa, that is onion, or Malus, Malus means for your apple, okay, Parthenium, unwanted plant, Kalegida, Parthenium. Allium cepa is your onion, Allium sativum is your garlic, Malus is apple. So these are the example for recurrent apomixis. Note down. Recurrent apomixis. Next, coming to non-recurrent apomixis. So here the embryo, it directly develops from haploid egg cell. It directly develops from the haploid egg cell. That is non-recurrent apomixis. That is called as haploid parthenogenesis. It's called as haploid parthenogenesis. Directly develops from the haploid egg cell. That is haploid parthenogenesis. That is non-recurrent apomixis. Okay. Or some other haploid cells of the embryo sac, that is haploid apogamy or haploid apogamy. Haploid apogamy means whatever the haploid cells are present inside the embryo sac. So that is other haploid cells of embryo sac. You know, embryo sac is a 7-celled and 8-nucleated stage. Whatever the cells are present inside the embryo sac, they are all haploid. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಂಟಿಪೋಡಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಸೈನರ್ಜಿಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಯಾವುದು ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಆರ್ the embryo may develop from the egg cell, haploid egg cell. That is also without any fertilization. So it is called as either haploid parthenogenesis or haploid apogamy. Haploid parthenogenesis or haploid apogamy. So as a result, whatever the embryo develops, it is haploid. Here the embryo developed is haploid. In the first case, the embryo developed, it is diploid. In this case, it is haploid. Okay. Although the definition says the process of formation of diploid embryos without fertilization, here this is the exception. So that is why it is called as non-recurrent apomixis, which is very rare, which is uncommon, which is not very common, which is uncommon. So it is called as non-recurrent apomixis. Okay. So it occurs very rarely. Okay. So it is primarily of genetic interest, and the plants which are produced are haploid. So these haploid plants are sterile, they are not fertile. The haploid plants which are produced are sterile by non-recurrent apomixis. So it is common in Solanum nigrum, then Lilium. Examples for this is Lilium, Liliaceae family. Then Solanum nigrum, it is your nightshade. We studied in first PUC Living World, Solanum nigrum, nightshade. Examples for non-recurrent apomixis. And the third type is the adventive polyembryony or unicellular embryony. As the name indicates, here the diploid embryo is produced without a fertilization, either through nucellus or through the integuments. either through nucellus or through the integument. So this is called as the nucellar embryony or adventive embryony. So you know that the nucellus cells or the integuments, their ploid is diploid, they are diploid. So they directly develop into embryo without any fertilization. So many embryos may be formed. So this particular induces the polyembryony. That induces what? The polyembryony. So they may be occur in plant species like citrus and mango. So what is the example? So it may be either from the nucellus or from the integument, which are diploid. Examples in case of mango, Mangifera indica, citrus plants are examples for this. And the fourth and the last type is the vegetative apomixis or bulbils. Bulbils already studied, that is nothing but the vegetative propagules which are found at the axil of the leaves, which fall onto the soil and will give new plant. Okay, that is the vegetative propagation. So here the vegetative buds or bulbils are produced in the inflorescence in place of flowers. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೋರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ನ ಬದಲಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ? bulbils are produced. So bulbils are produced in the inflorescence instead of flowers. So flowers develop ಆಗುವ ಬದಲಿಗೆ from the inflorescence it forms what? Bulbils. Bulbils develops from the inflorescence. From the inflorescence the bulbils will develop instead of the flowers. So these buds or bulbils, what you call, may sprout into the new plants while they are still attached to the mother plant. So these are still attached to the mother plant, but they will give rise to the formation of a new plantlet or the new plant. Okay. So this type you can see quite common in case of agave, then Dioscorea, and in some grasses. Examples for this agave, studied no? Bulbil in agave, Dioscorea, then in some grasses, grasses belong to Poaceae family. So 4 types of apomixis mark as very important question for CET NEET. Okay. So that is about the question number 18. Let's move to question number 19. That is, in a flower, if the megaspore mother cell forms megaspores without undergoing meiosis, and if one of the megaspores develop into an embryo sac, its nuclei would be, what they give, in a flower, if the megaspore mother cell forms megaspores without undergoing meiosis, then what is the ploidy of megaspore mother cell? It is 2n, diploid. So if this megaspore mother cell forms a megaspore without undergoing meiosis, and if one of the megaspore develops into an embryo sac, its nuclei would be, it is diploid, because no meiosis. So it will retain its diploid nature. So the option is B. Let's move to question number 20. The phenomena wherein the ovary develops into a fruit without fertilization is called as, many times we have discussed, that is nothing but A, parthenocarpy. The ovary develops into fruit without fertilization, it is called as the parthenocarpy, not the apomixis, neither asexual reproduction nor the sexual reproduction. So we have completed the particular worksheet, the first chapter. That is first worksheet of the chapter sexual reproduction in flowering plants under CET NEET. So up to 20 questions we have finished for the first worksheet. So take down all the lecture notes and also the points which I have written on the board, and thank you students for watching the video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.